So, go ahead.
Welcome to the first episode of Cabin Flannel, the Cabin Flannel podcast. This is Ryan, and I got here with me
Caleb.
All right.
That's me.
And so, we're still new to this, so this will be a fun experience.
Yep.
And I didn't start the timer. So
Smooth move.
starting off great.
Yep.
I figured we'd start this first episode off just kind of, giving a little background information on us, just so
Who
you
we
guys
are.
know where we're coming from. I'll let my
strangers.
co-host here start.
Yeah, so my name is Caleb, like we already established. I'm a student at Creighton University. It's kind of tough.
In Omaha?
In Omaha. Not that other Creighton University. Those guys suck. So it's kind of tough because, I live further away and Ryan still lives in Topeka, but, we make it work, so.
We do what we can.
Yeah, exactly. That might change, eventually, so hopefully.
Yeah, we're not going to be friends for much longer.
Exactly. That's what I meant. Yep. We're just going to cut it off.
It's too hard.
Yeah, it's hard having friends. I mean, come on. They're a lot of work. So that's, Ryan and I mostly grew up in Topeka. I grew up in Topeka for the most part.
I lived in Houston, Texas for 8 years, basically just through elementary school, but then I moved back up to Topeka. So
yeah, and I was born in Texas, in Amarillo, Texas, but I lived most of my life in Topeka, and then until I moved up to Omaha.
Yeah.
So.
We met in, I guess it'd be 7th grade when I moved to my parents' current house. Halfway through 7th grade, we lived, 100 yards from each other?
Yeah, like a block away. I mean, it was actually really nice because, I could just walk down to your house. So,
But we didn't become really good friends until, freshman year?
Probably freshman year. I'd say so.
We rode the bus together, and that bus will have some fun stories from
that was a good place to make friends
and enemies.
Yes, and enemies.
And enemies.
Yeah. That was fantastic.
Yeah, so we knew of each other for a couple years just from the bus, and we never had any classes together or anything. But
we didn't. We were unlucky like that. We never really had classes together.
Did we have Did we have any classes?
We had Freeman's class.
history in sophomore year. That's right. So one class through all of high school together. Which is, you could have taken creative writing, but it's fine.
I took it in college. I wish I would have. Now that I actually enjoy writing, that's something I do. I am an English major, by the way, in case I didn't mention that.
Yes, yeah, he is. He's up in. In Creighton.
I'm up in Creighton.
Up in Omaha, Nebraska, studying at Creighton University, and I am a small business manager here in Topeka.
Yes, he is.
Running the local video rental store, so living life large.
He was technically. I'd like to point out, I also worked at that video store.
Still do. You're on
and
the schedule.
I still do. I am. Yes. I mean, have a W-2 from there. So, but I will admit, he's technically my boss.
I am.
But I don't want to admit that, even though
I'm going to hold that over his head for the rest of his life.
It was a partnership, okay? But you had more responsibility, and you were in charge, and
still am,
and you are in charge. Okay. Well, that's fine.
Yeah. So. But both kind of living down the road from each other. We could, it was easy for us before we had cars and stuff to still hang out
and ride bikes.
Just shoot hoops or whatever. But also, the main reason we kind of connected is we had a mutual friend, Thomas, who is a character in his own.
We love you, Thomas, in case you ever hear this. Don't know if you will, but
he wanted to start a band, and so Caleb played violin, so we taught him bass because they both have 4 strings.
They both have 4 strings. That is true. For any of you violinists out there, it's not. Just pick up a bass, give it a shot.
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, basically.
So we've learned. So.
Yeah, pretty much. They do have the same strings. They're just backwards.
Yeah.
So
and bigger and frets.
Lower.
And, all that kind of stuff. But same thing. We taught him bass, even though we didn't know how to play ourselves. But both Thomas and I played guitar, so we figured it out as we went along.
Guitar, so you knew the basics. I mean, the basics.
Basics. That's terrible.
Totally original. That was gold.
But so we just kind of did the whole band thing. We still do every now and then.
We still do, yeah.
But that's kind of how we got to know got to know each other. That and video games.
Video games will do it.
We've played a lot of video games.
Played a lot of video. We used to play Call of Duty Zombies. I remember we did that for a while.
Yeah, we didn't do that for very long.
We had a phase. We had a zombie phase because Ryan didn't like zombies that much, and so we played a lot of multiplayer.
Which, ironically enough, you're probably watching.
You are watching some zombies.
Some of my zombies gameplay at the moment.
Isn't it great? Let's just stop to admire how excellent Ryan's
did you see that kill?
Right now.
We're not actually watching
that headshot.
We're not actually watching it.
Reload.
We don't know what's going on.
No, what are you talking about? We're recording this live over what's happening.
Yeah, I'm doing this all live.
Yeah, he's playing the game right now. But mostly, what was it? Black Ops, that was your main game? And then we didn't start playing
No, we played Black Ops 2 Zombies a lot together, but I think Ghost was probably the main we played.
We would play Ghost. We played you guys remember Reinforce? There's a game mode on Ghost called Reinforce.
It was a game mode they added about halfway through the year that me, Caleb, and probably 3 other people in the world actually played.
Yep. But we played
it. Was a mix of domination and search and destroy.
It was excellent.
We're not great Call of Duty players, but we played that game enough.
We were good.
That we got good at that game.
We were good. People feared us. They saw what was my name was probably still White Wolf at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not a racist name, okay? It's just I was like 11 when I picked it, and
I was 10 when I picked my name, and I still have it, and I've never been called racist.
Well, you know what? Surfing on snow doesn't make any sense, okay?
I've heard that a few times.
You can't surf on snow. It's just called snowboarding. But I will say, you were never called racist for your name.
Yes.
My name, I had a thing. I liked wolves. Okay, I was. You guys ever like Legend of Zelda? He turned into a wolf. Okay, I thought it was cool.
Never played that game.
That's well, it's cool. Okay,
I'll take your word for it.
It's really cool.
I feel like we could make a whole episode just about terrible online
gaming tags. Which, I went through a few. I like mine now. Dr. Jones.
It's not bad. I've had the same gamer tag my entire life.
Good for you.
Since I was 10. That is going to be. It's 9.5 years right now. That's ridiculous.
That's a really long time. But
so that's kind of how we got to know each other. Just video games, music, and that bus.
All the good stuff. That bus. Let's tell them some stories about that bus.
All right. Do you got one in mind?
I do. Okay. So we had some friends on the bus. We were actually pretty good friends.
So the way our bus was kind of set up, like that hierarchy inside the bus, was kind of weird because we had both in our grade both popular people and Caleb and I kind of people
which we
on
weren't
the bus.
Popular.
No, not at all.
We were not the popular kids.
Believe it or not.
I know,
But we had both those kind of people in the same grade on the bus, and we got along great.
We did, yeah. We got along super. I even had a crush on one of the girls, and
I did too.
I don't know if you're out there, but Bryce.
He's taken, so
I'm taken, so
I'm not. So
hey, call Ryan up though. He's alone.
But yeah, so that was one weird thing is for some reason both popular and unpopular people in our grade got together great, and everyone in our grade and below got along great. Even with the middle schoolers, we were friendly.
They were cool. Like my neighbor, James rode the bus.
James,
for a while.
Yeah, I guess he did.
He did. And we were good friends with him, and then he had some friends that he talked to on the bus.
But
and they were
the grade above us and above them all hated us. So for some reason there was a split. And
there was like
I don't know
riff. It was like that all the way through like elementary school. Like I know because you came in like 7th grade.
7th grade, halfway through 7th.
I remember that some of those kids in my elementary school, Indian Hills, they would sit back there and they were jerks back then too. And I don't know what it was. There was still a rift between like our grade and them. And I don't know what that was about.
I don't understand it because it was just there because everyone, us and below got along, and everyone above us got along no matter what grade. So maybe it was just us.
Maybe it's just us.
That's a good possibility.
Maybe we're just unlikable. That's a possibility.
That is a possibility.
Yeah. So we were pretty tight, right? Like we had like Jose, and we had like
Abigail,
Bryce, Jenny, call out.
Josh.
Hey, Josh. Yeah,
we won't give last
Jared.
names.
We had yeah.
We won't give
you know,
last
we
names.
won't give last names. So they but they were all on the bus. We were all tight. You know, we were getting along. But those upperclassmen, they would mess with us. Like they would. So there was one in particular. We won't name her, but we will share the nickname with her. Okay.
Do we want to?
And
because we have given away what bus it is.
we have given away. You know what? She's not going to listen to this. There's no way she's going to hear this. Okay. So we called her, and keep this in mind, she was a jerk, okay? And we're about to share.
We personally did not come up with this nickname.
No, we didn't, but we picked it up because she was mean, and we're about to share some stories about why she was so mean. But we called her Hungry Hippo, and it was because she was mean, okay?
And like she was a little.
She was a little bit on the bigger side, but that was just we were trying to get back. We were oppressed, okay? We were being bullied on the bus.
That's a little far.
Okay, we gotta play. They were the bad guys, okay? So it was rough. But so one story that I remember in particular was they used to throw like tampons at us. I remember they would color because they thought it was convincing and maybe they didn't think we knew what tampons were or something. But they would like color.
I didn't back here. Just I'm throwing that out there. I had no idea.
I knew what it was, but I was
idea.
confused because like they used like an orange Crayola marker or something, and like it didn't look convincing at all. But she would like throw it up there and stuff, and then we would like we'd be like, "What the heck is what is this?" And they would just laugh. Like they thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and it was just bad. Like it wasn't even good humor. Like come on.
Yeah, it was. God, yeah, it was bad. And our bus driver. Did we have the same bus driver all throughout high school?
No,
except for
didn't.
the last year.
It changed.
Last year we had a different one.
The last year we had a different one.
But did she go from hating us to loving us?
There was
or was
a
that
woman,
two different people?
I think there was two different people.
Okay.
Because there was an older woman in like the middle school era who she was hardcore. Like she did not like. She would pull the bus over and be like, "Stop messing around!" Like she was.
And she's like, "I'm not gonna stop until you guys stop, or I'm not gonna
go. I'm not gonna
go.
I'm not gonna stop." Yeah, that we would have gotten home like in no time. Yeah, she was hardcore. But then we had another one because remember, she wrote us up. Do you remember that?
I did not get written up.
Okay. You know what? Crap. You didn't get written up.
Nope. I remember you did.
Up, and someone else did, with us. Like
I think it was Jose.
Jose, yes. And so Jose and I...
Jose is a straight-A student that now goes to USC. He is not the kid that gets written up.
No, he was not any trouble at all. Like, he was a great kid. And I think I was pretty good, too. Like, I wasn't getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Come on, man. So, like... We were good. We were good kids.
Yeah.
And so she wrote us up, and we got the slips, and I was so upset.
And it was for something stupid, like
it was like being in the aisle,
like having one leg while you're sitting.
Yeah, because when you're talking to friends on the bus, sometimes you reach across the aisle. Like, okay, it's fine. But she wrote us up for that, and so I remember we walked up to that bus driver one day, and like made our case. We're like, hey, we don't know you, and I thought we were good. I thought we were like friends, and I'm like, you wrote us up. That hurts, okay? And we told her, and she took it back.
Yep.
She took it back, and that was great because I was like, whew, she's on our side now, and that was excellent. So I'm so glad. I'm glad she took that back because that would have tarnished my otherwise perfect school record.
Did you ever have detention or anything like
that?
No,
I didn't.
I did.
You had detention?
I think I only had it once. I might have had it twice. If I did, it was for the same reason. It was
detention?
in 7th grade. Yeah. Once you find out the reason. It was in 7th grade. I was in the advanced math at the time.
Advanced math.
It was algebra. No, it was 8th grade. I'm sorry, it was 8th grade.
Algebra in 8th grade.
Yeah,
You're
one year early.
Ones. Yeah.
Not in that class, but we had this folder that we had to take home every week, and we had to get it signed, and it just had like all the homework and stuff that we did, and if we did any quizzes or tests, they'd be in there also.
Right.
And there was a checklist, and our parents had to sign it and make sure we did everything. I never did my homework, and that was a common trend throughout all.
I will notice though. Yes, you didn't really do your homework, because there was a certain A push class that you definitely would have passed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You definitely would have passed because he's a smart guy. Okay, like Ryan.
I just don't apply myself.
Yeah. You're not an idiot. Okay.
I have my moments, and I'm sure you.
Well, we all have our moments. Okay. But you're smart, so you could have done it.
Yeah, but and if you didn't get your folder signs, you'd get a detention. like that.
Uh-oh.
No, I did. I did have it twice.
Man.
I did have it
That
twice.
was, like,
it was
why would they do that?
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, we're 8th grade. Do we really need our parents to check up on our
I
homework?
know.
Apparently we
you
did.
do. Yeah.
But I just wouldn't do it. And so then when I had to get my folder signed, I wait till the morning of because I was postponing it because I didn't do any homework and my parents were going to be mad. So I'd postpone it till the morning of. And then one week my mom she was in the shower or something like that before I go to school. So I didn't get it signed. And so I got to school and she was walking around collecting folders. I was like, I don't have it. She's like, okay. And so she wrote up a attention slip. And that sucked.
That's the worst pressure when that teacher's walking towards you.
Next time that happens, I had the so genius idea. I was like, I'll just sign it as my mom.
You didn't.
And I thought I was so smart. I was
delinquent.
like, she's never gonna know. She doesn't have records and compare them with a microscope
what is it,
or anything.
A cartographer or whatever who
that's someone who makes maps.
Are you sure about that? Cartographer?
I'm pretty sure it's someone who makes maps.
Who studies handwriting? Is that a calligraphist?
I know calligraphy is fancy handwriting.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, we're very knowledgeable on this subject.
Obviously, yeah. Mr. English professor over here.
Yeah, English major. Okay.
Sorry. But so I had the genius idea just to forge the signature. And she definitely caught me because I had the brains to forge the signature, but not the brains to copy the signature. Even though I had her signature in the folder 5 times already, so I could have just easily traced it.
Yeah.
I didn't think that one through.
Nope.
She called my parents and all that kind of stuff. So
wow.
that was
that's embarrassing.
Fun times, but
that's one way to get
detention. Only 2 detentions.
That's not a bad way to get detention though. At least you didn't I don't know, get in a fight or cheat on a test or something.
I've never been in a fight. You have.
A
couple
almost
close calls.
Been in a fight.
A couple close calls.
I've had some close calls. I'd say. We kind of had a close call
with Aaron.
With Aaron and with Thomas.
Yeah, I didn't think that was actually going to happen. I don't and it was a 4-on-1, and
yeah, I don't think he was going to do anything. That was awkward though. That was kind of a painful situation.
Yes.
Yeah, the close. I've never been in a fight. So I'll share the story. Why not? So coming out of Texas Roadhouse. I had a nice dinner with my mom and my uncle. We were just walking back to the car. And
how old were you about this time?
I was probably 17. I was 17. It was near the end of high school. And I walked out and someone had parked their car a foot away from my car. It was so close I could just barely open the door. And so, I had a 91 Acura Integra. It was a great car. I just want to make a call out.
Racing seats. It had automatic seat belts.
Automatic seat belts. You guys know, automatic seat belts. How many cars have automatic seat belts? That was the coolest
thing ever, man.
It was
I
so
loved
cool.
that car.
I miss that car so much.
It was stick shift.
I miss it so much. So I walk out there, and this person had parked really close, and my uncle was just a spot away. So I look over at him and I just kind of laugh and I'm like, what the heck is this? Look at this person parked so close to my car, right? But it wasn't a big deal. I could still slip into my car.
Yeah.
So I got in the car, and this car next to me, I hadn't even noticed there were people over there, but they had stopped behind me, so I couldn't back out of the spot, and so I was kind of confused, but I couldn't see the driver or the passenger, so I was like, okay, whatever. I guess I'll just wait until this person decides to move for whatever reason. And then I look over, and my uncle is getting out of his car, and he just walks straight up to that car that's parked behind me. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? What's this? He knocks on the window, and the guy driving the car gets out, and my uncle just pops him in the face, hard. And they start going at it. They're, fighting full out. I'm like, oh, crap. So, I jump out of my car. I have to squeeze out. I run over there, and they're just, wailing on each other, just punching. And I'm like, crap. And this guy... He gets my uncle and he hits him hard, and he's got him. He's got his head and he's knees him in the face. It's pretty brutal. And I'm like, oh crap, Mike's in trouble. So I run over there.
Caleb to the rescue.
Yeah, and I didn't want to throw any punches or anything. I was I'm just gonna try to get things calm. I'm gonna try to slow things down. So I grab the dude and I just pull him off my uncle. And I'm like, hey, bro, just take it easy. Just stop. Just take it easy. And he's squaring up and stuff, and he's getting ready to swing, and I'm like, don't do it, man. I'm like, crap, I'm gonna have to fight this guy. This is gonna be terrible. I've never fought anybody before, and this guy was short and stocky, but he was kind of muscular. He looked like a guy who maybe worked out, but he was on the shorter side, So I was like, oh crap. And so this guy's squaring me up. And then my uncle gets back up and jumps back on him, like keeps going. And I'm like, oh, crap. And my mom saw this. She's like over, like she's running and she's yelling, don't touch my son. Like she's like coming down and like, and his mom she's freaking out.
His mom, she can hold her own.
She can hold her own.
She can hold her own.
Yeah, she was in a gang. Don't know, but you know that's a story for a different time. We can talk about that next time. So like she comes running in. She's telling don't touch my son. And this guy, his girlfriend or whoever she was in the car, and she's like freaking out. She's like, oh my gosh, and she's like, this happened like not again. Like and it's just it was just bad. So she just leaves. She like gets in her car and just like drives away. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I pull the guy off my uncle one more time because he like gets on him again. Mm-hmm. And I pull him off and I'm like, dude, just take it easy. Just stop. And my uncle, they finally like just get tired enough. They hit. I pull the guy off. He's like walking around, trying to find his girlfriend, like she's gone. And we go over to my uncle and make sure he's okay. Like we're like, crap. And he ended up, so he was okay for the most part, but he hurt his elbow. He hurt his elbow pretty bad. So, like, he had to get that checked out. He was out of work for a little bit. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is, so after the fight, my uncle goes and, like, picks up the dude's shades or something and, like, hands it to him and then just gives him a pat on the back. Like, everything's cool. And so apparently what happened, I didn't understand why my uncle attacked this dude. I was like, what the heck happened? I guess the guy had been flipping me off in his car. So, like, he saw me laughing at his girlfriend's bad parking job is, like, what it was. And he
You're
thought
a terrible
I was, like...
person.
I know. Can you imagine that?
You deserve what you got.
She parks bad, and then I laugh at it, and I deserve to get flipped off.
Of course.
So, of course, that's a normal response, right? So that's what happened. And so my uncle was like, oh, he flipped off my nephew? That's not cool. So, he was just defending me. So thanks, Mike.
Was there any alcohol involved in this situation?
There wasn't any alcohol involved. Okay. Yeah, my uncle was actually, we just had, like, he didn't drink anything. So it was just a spur of the moment. And my uncle... funny enough, he hadn't really been in any fights either. Like, he was not a very violent person in general, but he was just that upset. Like, I guess this guy must have really been like, he must have put a lot of effort into that middle finger because like it must have been something special. Because I'd never seen my uncle get that pissed before.
Huh.
So it was crazy.
Well, I actually have a couple more school bus related stories.
Oh, there's a lot.
From my childhood. This is from.
Am I not involved in these?
You are not.
Oh
you might have some more about that.
Oh,
but I had probably the sketchiest bus driver that I've ever heard of during my elementary school. I still remember it was purple bus number 22.
Purple bus number was
purple
it
bus.
Purple?
No,
was it actually purple?
It was just like.
Oh, it was like the
numbers
marker
for kids.
Okay,
it was
like then. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha. So it wasn't like 12 or something. It was a color instead. Okay.
It was number 22, but it
also had a color.
Purple bus.
I guess that's smart. Kids probably react better to the color.
This is elementary school days, so
back in the elementary school.
But
days.
my brother and I, he's a year older than I am. We had to walk about half a mile. It wasn't too bad to our school bus stop because we lived like at the end of a cul-de-sac, and so we'd meet there with maybe 4 or 5 other people. And most of the time, the bus would come on time. We just do whatever. Once a month or so, the bus would just be 30 minutes late. And so we started inventing games and stuff like that to play while we waited for the bus.
Yeah. Kick the rock.
No, they all involved rocks, but
really, okay. that was a lucky guess. We didn't kick it.
No, but it was an intersection, and there was ditches and stuff like that, and there were little sewage pipes that would run. Sewage pipes? I think they were sewage pipes.
Sewage pipe, like storm drains or something, or is that what you're?
Kind of pipes that would run just underneath the streets.
Okay.
And just a huge pipe, little rubber thing that you could crawl through. But probably.
It was like one of those like like it was like. Something underneath those hills or something.
Yeah,
you can go. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
And it just went from one side of the street to the other, but it was a pretty big street. And we would try to throw rocks just through the thing
all the way through.
It wasn't smooth, it was bumpy, so it was just stuff like that.
Did you ever make it? You ever make it all the way through?
A couple times, maybe.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
I don't know if I did, but yeah, I'm sure some people did. We would throw them over the power lines, and there were 2 sets of power lines on top of each other, and so you could throw it over the lower ones, and anyone could do that, or we could try to get it over the top ones.
The top.
We did that. We did that. One day, I got the genius idea to throw the rocks at the stop sign, and just see how far away I could get from the stop sign.
That sounds like fun. probably some form of vandalism or something. But
well, when a car pulls up to the stop sign and you throw a rock and hit the car.
Oh, that is vandalism.
yeah. So that may have happened once.
May have happened once.
Guy jumps out of his car and starts yelling at my brother.
Oh.
Didn't know it was me that threw it.
Oh, did you let him take the fall?
I let him take the fall. Yeah,
You threw it on the older brother.
Third grade, maybe. So
it is pretty scary, though. I have to say, if some man jumps out of the car and is like,
there's no way I'm gonna, do anything with that. But let's see. We got in a little fender bender one time. The bus was already like 10 minutes late that day, and then like at our stop, we had just gotten on the bus, and someone hits us from behind. Like, I legit, it was
was that the bus? The bus got hit from behind?
Yes.
Wow, I've never even seen someone, like, do that to a school bus.
Me either. But it was so not a big deal that I didn't even know what happened. Like, I was like, hey,
it was
why aren't we moving?
Barely made
And so I was like, we just got hit. I was like, what? And I looked back, and it was like, car got hit. But we were in a huge bus. It was a small car.
Right.
But we had just gotten on the bus. Like, we literally hadn't moved yet. Like, we'd just gotten on. But since we were on the bus... When we got hit, we couldn't get off the bus.
What?
No one could get on, no one could get off until like the cops came or something like that.
Are you serious?
It
That's
was
a
stupid.
rule?
So we sat there for like 45 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
Not going to make the school on time, obviously.
Obviously, but
and just sat there, just like, what? We can't get off. Like I live
right there.
2 minutes away.
Can I just go home and like get a bowl of cereal or something?
No. So we sat on the bus. Our bus driver. I did have the same bus driver the whole time I was there.
Really?
But she did go through a phase. She hated us early on. What? And then she was...
Did she get better, like, over time?
Yeah. I don't know if
weird.
it's... I don't think it was because we got older, and so she was nicer to us. I think she was just nicer overall, but I could be wrong. It was so long ago.
Maybe something good happened in her life.
Maybe
things just changed for her.
She was very interesting. She was pretty nice later on, but she had, I think, 4 facial piercings. If I remember correctly,
pretty cool.
She had nose, lip, ear, and
eyebrow.
tongue.
She had a tongue.
She might have an eyebrow also.
An eyebrow,
but I know she had a tongue because that was the first time I ever saw a tongue
piercing.
I thought it was like super interesting. She was a little bigger,
awesome.
but she was super
Hardcore.
nice
Super
later
metal.
on. But earlier on, she hated us, and I still remember there was one day we were driving home from school, and we elementary school kids, we're being rowdy or whatever, and she stops the bus, maybe 2 stops away from my stop, so like in the neighborhood, like so close to getting home on time, but not. She stops the bus and yells at us for like 10 minutes straight.
10 minutes?
Just how
what was
terrible
she so mad
we are.
about?
I think we were just being loud, or it might have been because people were sticking like their body parts out the window. Because that's the one part I remember.
Body
about
parts.
That's the one part I remember about this is to end the whole rant. Maybe she just like yelled about her rules again. I don't know.
Yeah.
But to end the whole rant, she was like, "And no sticking your feet out the window, no sticking your heads out the window, no sticking your hands out the window." And this little kid from the back, you just hear this little voice go, "Oh no! Can we stick our butts out the window?" And everyone cracked up except the bus driver.
Oh, no.
I can't imagine how pissed off she was because everyone else cracked up.
Classic.
For like 10 seconds straight.
Can we stick our butts out the window? I bet that was so funny for a school.
For a school full of elementary school kids. Oh yeah.
With kids,
especially after
probably the
getting
funniest
berated.
thing they ever heard in their life.
Especially after getting berated like that.
Exactly.
Just hear this little squeaky voice.
Down with authority. Just somebody bring up
butts
butts and everything. We stick our butts out.
It was fantastic.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And then there's the story. We had some pretty good friends who lived across the street from us, and it's funny because I remember almost nothing about them, but I remember going over to their house a lot, and I remember they had a bunny.
They had a bunny?
Yeah, I remember I watched The Incredible Hulk over there for the first time. It was at their house.
Wait, like the original, like the old Hulk, or like
the
one with Edward Norton, or the one with
it would have been the older one.
Really, the one with like the terrible CGI and the green.
I was like 5. I don't remember. I think it was that one because I don't think the other one was out yet.
Probably
Ed Norton.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, like I think they're pretty good family friends, but I think they moved away when I was still pretty young, so I don't remember them too well. But I do remember one day getting off the bus. They were a few years older than us, but they were, I guess, still in elementary school at that point. So they still rode the bus with us.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking in front of people. I guess I got off the bus first and headed home, and like I said, it's about a half-mile walk, so not bad. But it's not right next to the house.
Right.
In the Texas heat and stuff, I see this shiny thing on the ground. I'm like,
shiny thing, coin,
and,
money.
I didn't know what it was, so I was like, I'm gonna stop and pick it up. It was on the side of the road too.
Oh no. I think I know.
It was this little like metal trapezoid. I was like, what is this? I was like, is it sharp?
Oh, it's a.
And so like, I was 6 or 7 at this time, so just bear with me. But
what a curious mind.
I was like, is it sharp? Because that's the first thing you think of when you pick up a shiny metal object.
Is it sharp? Is it dangerous? Can I cut something with it?
I found it.
I found that one out.
So I slid it across my finger slowly. I was like, oh. I didn't do anything. So I did it again. I did it.
Smooth move.
I did it.
Hey, this is
PG show. I'm sorry. So I did it. So I did it again. I guess across my finger, and again, nothing. Like I was
so inappropriate.
Just nothing. And so I did it again, but faster. Slid it across my finger as fast as I could, and nothing happened for a split second. And then I'd see blood.
And pouring out of your fingers.
Looking back on it now, it was obviously a razor that I found on the side of the road.
You found a razor on the ground.
That I cut myself
Probably
with.
had like 11 different diseases on it.
Oh,
too.
At least.
It's a miracle you didn't die.
On the side of the road in
You're lucky to have your hand.
Nowhere, Texas. Yeah. So so I sliced my finger open with the razor I found on the side of the road, and
very smart. I have a story.
The neighbors that I was talking about earlier, they picked me up and ran me home because
we found your kid is bleeding out of his thumb, and I think he's gonna die. He cut himself with a razor he found on the ground. Are you sure he's okay? Like,
yeah. So that's I was a smart kid, as you can tell. I have another.
You've since gotten smarter.
a little bit about some things. I got one more story.
Okay, fine. My story wasn't important anyway. Just
keep
continue.
You
know what? No, I don't even want to tell it anymore.
But I was about the same age, early elementary school, early to mid elementary school. And this is another
for you.
another story about my intelligence.
I won't complain about hearing more of those.
I still remember this kid's name. His name was Alec. I won't say his last name.
I knew an Alec.
He was the second fastest kid in our grade.
He was the second fastest. Were you the first fastest?
I was not. I was fourth.
Okay. You were fourth.
That's how popularity was determined.
It's all about your speed,
The first 3 fastest kids were the most popular kids.
It's all about
and being fourth, no one cared about 4. So.
Yep. Nobody cared about fourth.
My childhood.
You didn't make it on the podium, man. That's the problem.
You
didn't get a medal. They don't give medals out for fourth place.
They do in tennis sometimes.
They do
talk about it later.
That was a different time. He got fourth place in tennis. He got a medal.
But it was early on in the school year, so it was maybe 3rd grade where classes are completely different. You go to school at that point with the same kids the whole year.
The whole day and the whole year.
And so he was one of the few people I knew in my new class. And so we were sitting next to each other, and just as kids do, we were playing with pencils, pretending to stab each other or something like that. And
so much fun.
His hand slips and actually stabs my arm. And
he straight up stabbed you?
He did, with a pencil. And
oh, gosh.
I guess I was old enough at that age to have heard of lead poisoning, but not old enough to know that pencils nowadays don't have lead in it. Because you always call it the lead of pencil.
Lead in the pencil, yeah. So you just assume.
I was convinced I was going to die.
You're going to die of lead poisoning?
I went home. I was
crying.
So sad. I didn't mention it to my parents because I didn't want them to
die. You didn't want them to worry?
I didn't want them to worry.
You're like, I can't tell mom and dad. They're going to.
No, and so I didn't say anything. I was just so sad. Just this is I was like, I'm just gonna get really sick if I'm not gonna
If I don't die,
I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I was convinced something terrible was gonna happen, and I didn't want to tell anyone.
I didn't want
because I didn't want to scare anyone.
Wow, that's very noble, but also really dumb.
Nothing ever happened, and I still have the mark on my arm to this day.
You still have the pencil.
I still have.
You still have the graphite.
The gray mark on my arm.
That is ridiculous, dude.
And that's the only time in my life I've been convinced I was going to die.
That is terrifying.
Including driving with Thomas.
Including driving. That was terrifying. I've been convinced I was going to die a few times. Well, there's been a bunch of times, but we drove to Kansas City to get to the guitar center.
Yes, you told me about that.
And he scared the heck out of me, dude. First of all, he doesn't use his blinkers at all.
No,
which, if anybody, use your blinkers, okay? It's not
such
that
an
hard.
easy thing to do.
It's such a simple thing, and it helps out all the other drivers on the road. I mean, it's
literally
that
does not
easy.
hurt anything.
It doesn't hurt anything. Just
Except
use
maybe
your
the time I
blinkers.
got in a car wreck, but again,
Well, that's
story.
for another time. It doesn't back up our point. So yeah, that was terrifying. The other time, so this is kind of a similar idea, but I was driving. So I wasn't driving. I was in the passenger seat, and my dad. We were driving back from Mulvane, which is where my family lives on my dad's side, and we were late. And we missed out on Dave and Buster's. My mom and like Joy, which is a family friend, and our friend Kaysen and Ian and all of them, they got to go to Dave and Buster's. And my mom called me and we're like, "Hey, are you guys almost here?" And I was like, "No, we're like 2 hours out." And she's like, "Oh, well, we're gonna go to Dave and Buster's, but you're not gonna make it." And it crushed my soul. Okay, it was the worst thing ever. So I think this is just like it put me in a mood or something. Like I was in a bad place. I found a freckle on my leg, and like driving, like I was wearing these athletic shorts, and like so my mom, she had melanoma, she had skin cancer, right? And she doesn't have it. Yeah, she doesn't have it now. Like she's good now, but back then it was like still fresh in our minds. And she told us like,
my oldest brother also had skin cancer.
did he really, Andy? Man, I didn't know that. But yeah, so like she told us that since she had skin cancer, we had like a 50% chance of like getting it. So I was freaked out.
That's not something you tell a kid.
I know. I was scared. I was like every freckle I saw, everything was like skin cancer. And so I found this new freckle on like the bottom of my leg or something. And I remember her telling us, she's like, if you get freckles in like weird spots that you like wouldn't get freckles, beware, you know.
Wow.
And I was like,
I love your mom.
Oh my gosh. I know, she's great. I love my mom too, but she scared the heck out of me. And so I found a freckle on the bottom of my leg, and I was already emotionally unstable from missing Dave and Buster's. I was freaking out because I thought I was going to die from cancer. And I like had like a breakdown in the car. And my dad was like looking at me. He's like, "What the heck? What are you crying about?" That's how my dad talks about it.
Yes, exactly.
Just like that.
It's
Like,
kinda
what are you
scary,
crying
actually.
about? What are you doing? And I couldn't explain it. I was like, there's a freckle on my leg, and I think I'm gonna die. and I'm so upset because I didn't even get to go to Dave and Buster's. I was crushed, dude. It was bad. Turns out it was nothing. It's like I think I saw that freckle. It's like right there. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm
but
not gonna die.
Some of the greatest things ever as a kid, though, is going to places like Dave and Buster's.
Dude, so much
I
fun.
still remember there was a place called The Main Event, which is
The Main Event.
an adult club up here in Topeka.
Oh, it is, yeah. It's a gentleman's club, if you will.
Not
Not very many
down
gentlemen
in
in there.
Texas,
if you ask me.
it's a kids like, arcade place, kind of like Chuck E. Cheese or
Or like Dave and Buster's.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or
And,
maybe what is it? Getty's. I think Getty's it's a Texas, like Amarillo has Getty's.
I'm not sure about that, but
Yeah.
there was a Dave and Buster's in town, and I went with my friend Austin for his birthday, and I think my friend Hunter was there
Austin
also.
from Texas.
Yes, not from Austin, Texas.
Not from Austin, Texas. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, but
Perfect.
we went with him on his birthday, and it was the greatest thing ever. They had bowling and all this kind of
They have
stuff.
go-karts? That's the mark of a good one.
I
They
don't
have
believe
go-karts.
so. It was at night. We didn't do go-karts if they did, but we were young enough that we didn't. Go-karts wasn't a thing.
It was
for us.
still the arcade machines and stuff.
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
What
Ball
happened to
pits
arcades, man?
and all that kind of stuff.
Arcades are just disappearing.
And the second time I ever went to the Main Events, it was with my family. And this is not something that we don't go to Chuck E. Cheese or anything like that very often.
Yeah. Well, you have so many siblings. It's
Exactly.
Like, it would be
but it was a
fortune every
huge deal.
time.
Like we were going to the Main Event. This was, a couple of years ago. I loved this place, and it was a huge day.
Big day.
We went. My parents got like new phones or something like that beforehand, and we were still young enough that we couldn't stay home, and so we were sitting in the, phone store and that was back then before there were iPhones and stuff to play with.
Before there were
Sitting
iPhones,
in
yeah,
chairs,
just flip phones.
And I felt this headache
maybe
coming
Tetris.
on. I was like, no, I can't.
No.
I cannot get a headache today. This is
an
going to be a
important
good
day.
day.
This
I
is
cannot
special.
get a headache. And it just got worse
Oh,
worse
no.
as the day gone on. By the time we actually got to the Main Event, it was a full-blown migraine.
Oh gosh.
But I was going to push through.
Push through.
Our parents made us eat pizza first. Like, okay, fine. I just need focus on the games. Focus on the games, Ryan.
Focus on do it for the
And,
games.
there's like 2 pieces of pizza left, and we were all done. And my parents were like, nope, you have to finish the pizza. Someone's got to eat the pieces. And I was like, God, please, someone eat the pieces. I want to go play.
Anybody but
my
me.
head's gonna kill me.
That sucks, dude.
I finally got to play the games. I think I played for maybe 5 minutes and just puked everywhere.
Oh no!
And I
Were
can't
you
hide it at that
inside-
point.
You weren't inside like the the tubes and stuff, right?
No,
they had,
no.
Okay,
It was
that would be
just on the open
nightmarish.
floor.
If I was the kid who was like walking around and I found some puke like splotch inside the middle of I would probably be scarred for life.
And so like I had made it through the film store, through
You
dinner,
made it through everything, and then
and I played like 2 or 3 games. And
you got 2
then
or 3 games
I
out of
couldn't
it.
I couldn't hold it in anymore.
It's more the idea of like you have this special day where you're going to like go to
Exactly.
something,
Yeah.
and then you miss out on it, and that's like the worst feeling, especially as a kid. Like even as an adult, if you like miss out on stuff,
Yeah.
it sucks, right?
Yeah.
But like that's the
as a
worst.
kid, that's everything to you.
And
I still remember just sitting in the parking lot with my dad. He also gets pretty bad migraines, so he kind of knew what was going on. And I was in terrible pain because of the migraine, but also just so sad that like I couldn't play at the main event.
Oh, that is crushing.
Yeah, and that was a terrible day.
That absolutely sucks.
But yeah,
the only
as
thing
a
I
kid,
have-
those days are just
you know what other days there are? So like that's like so in school, right? Like so I grew up, I had like I wanted to present myself at school, right? So I would like do my hair. I would like wear
Yes,
certain
you used to
stuff.
spike your hair.
I used to spike my hair up.
Yep.
I've kind of had a return to where I do something with my hair now. But like I used to spike my hair up, and it was important to me. If anybody touched my hair, if the wind blew too hard, if I touched my
Which
hair
in Kansas,
on accident, it happens.
Yeah.
It's like it's unavoidable, really. But it had to be like perfect, or my day would like just be ruined. And I know like, and this happens to people. Like it's weird, but people like they care so much about their appearance. I remember my dad would take us to Starbucks in the morning sometimes before school, and we went in there and I spilled like some hot chocolate or something like on my shirt, and I couldn't do it. I was like, no, I can't go to school. I can't do it. People are gonna see my stained shirt, and what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And like I told my dad, I was like, no, I can't. I need to go like change my shirt. I need to go back. And my dad's like, what are you doing? Like just go to school. It's like not a big deal. And I was like, no, I can't. I can't do it. I had a full breakdown, and then finally, my dad just talked me down. He's like, Caleb, just go to school.
Dude,
you're gonna be okay.
I never. Was
You
like
never
this.
had this?
No. Maybe
It's just because I'm vain.
there you
It's
go.
'cause-
No, dude, I never did my hair. I never cared about what I wore. I just wore
whatever you wanted.
whatever was semi-clean,
Yeah.
on top of the pile of clothes in my room.
I really wish I was like that in school, because like I cared way too much. Like my day was like dependent on like if what I was wearing was right, or like whether my hair was good. And I remember I made the decision going into high school, because I was like, I still kind of did this in middle school. I was getting older, and I was like, okay, I really should probably move on. I should. This is kind of stupid. But in high school, I was like, you know what? If I want to make a change, I need to do it between middle school and high school, because that's my chance. That's my chance to like do things differently. So I remember I went to the first day of high school. Nothing, like my hair just down.
I remember
I
that.
wore like
It was
weird.
It was weird
because
to see you like
and
that.
that's the thing. And people would comment on it. They'd be like, Caleb, what about your hair? It looks weird. Like you have it. And it made me, I'm like, this is exactly what I was worried about. And so, but the thing is, you make it through that like first day and nobody cares.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Like they will
Yeah.
comment on it that first time. They'll be like, something's different. What did you do? Like, why your hair is different? And then you make it through that first day. It's like, nobody cares. Like, it's your hair. Whatever. And it was so much more freeing. Like, it was like at that point, I was like, this is way better. I don't have to worry about it. It's just so much better.
I did have one kind of similar experience. It was when I just moved to the middle school where I met Caleb. Like I said, I moved in halfway through the 7th grade. And so I was the new kid, and I'd been a new kid a couple times at that point. So it wasn't anything I had never done before, but it was in the first couple months I was there. So yeah, I knew some people. I had a couple decent friends and stuff like that. Not Caleb, ironically.
Not me. I think you had, Thomas and Kaysen, maybe?
It was Jordan Lind and...
Jordan. I mean, Jordan something.
What? What's his... I didn't hear. Yeah. And another guy.
Your phone almost fell off the table. Sorry, it gave me a heart attack. I looked over there, and it was like
farther heights.
it was like about to fall
off.
off the table, and I was like, oh crap. It's fine though. It's good.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, so I had a couple like pretty close friends, and it was middle school, so we were getting older.
Getting older.
Slight independence here and there.
It's an awkward stage.
Yeah.
It's an awkward stage. I mean,
And
middle school's just awkward.
Zach and I, my older brother, we kind of grew up together because, like I said, we were just 1 year apart. And so the slight bit of independence that we got is my mom would take us to Walmart to get our haircut. Yeah, I know.
Dude, Walmart.
We're high class.
What was it,
over
Master
here.
Cuts?
It was a Smart Clips, I think it's called.
Oh, Smart Clips?
Yeah.
It sounds like a knockoff
honestly,
of Great
it's-
Clips.
It's a pretty, I mean, I go there still
got-
every now and then.
Oh.
It's pretty. It's
That's
not a bad
I go to
place,
Great
honestly.
Clips. Like, that's just, like,
I-
not a sponsor.
I think not yet. Unless hey,
Hey,
Great
hit
Clips,
us up,
if you're
Great Clips.
listening.
If you're
Yeah.
listening, I will gladly sponsor you. Free haircuts? Like, help us
Take
out.
it, man. Save us all $10. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because the
But-
prices are amazing.
But yeah, but I'm the kind of kid that I would always freak out of what to tell them. Like,
Oh,
I
like,
don't-
what do you say? Like,
oh,
is it a
what-
number 5?
how do you
Is
want
it a
your
number-
haircut?
I don't know. Can you just
Shorter?
cut it?
like a normal
Shorter
boy's
than it
haircut? I
is.
don't know. Like, I'm
That's hilarious.
13 in middle school?
Yeah,
Like,
13. Yeah, 13.
I
Something
don't
like
know. And so I asked my mom, like, 4 or 5 times, like, hey, what
that. What do I get?
exactly
Like,
do I tell them?
Yeah.
It's like, you want a 3 on the sides and scissors on top. Okay. I got it. 3. Yeah, 3 on the sides, scissors on top. Okay. So I get there. Me and Zach go get our haircut. My mom goes shopping. That was a little bit of
Your
independence
freedom,
that we
your
got.
Independence, yeah, because you were in middle school.
Yeah, exactly. And so the lady comes up to me. She's like, "Oh, so what are we gonna do for you today?" I was like, "I'm gonna get a 3." And she looks at me. She's like, "You want a 3?" I was like, "Yes."
you forgot
I
something
know.
there.
I know. I want a 3 because I'm prepared for this moment.
I'm
And
prepared.
She looks over at my brother. She's like, "Is that really what he wants?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Oh no!
She's like, "Okay."
The backup failed.
Yeah,
Zach failed.
Yes. Zach, I have so many stories. Okay. Oh well, I'll save those for further.
Save him
episodes.
another one.
You
Yeah,
know what
for
I'm
another
talking
time.
about,
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I've heard
jeez.
some of them.
though. Yep. But and so she's like, "Okay," and then she just started cutting my hair. She's like, "Oh, so getting ready for summer, huh?"
Getting ready for
was like-
summer because it's gonna get a lot cooler up there.
Like, I guess what I don't know what that means, but okay.
All right, yeah,
I'm
just make a
seventh grade.
conversation,
What?
right? Yeah, she's
Yeah,
just trying to
and
talk.
so she gets done and she turns me to the mirror and she cut off. This was the shortest my hair's been
Ooh.
since I was born, probably.
It was a 3,
And she
did
took,
ask for a 3.
She took 3 inches off. Is
Gosh.
what she thought
She-
I meant. And
I can't even imagine you with a buzz cut, dude. Like,
dude,
I used to rock.
I used to rock the buzz cut.
Are you serious?
But that was
It
like
would be
shorter
simpler.
than. That was like short.
Wait, this was shorter than buzz cut?
Yeah,
Or
because I used to
Are you
have a
kidding
buzz
me?
cut, but this was
this was shorter than the buzz
short.
cut?
It
Are you
was
kidding me?
Yeah, it was bad.
I wouldn't
And
even
I
think,
remember,
like, you think, like, if somebody says, like, a 3, right? Because that's, like, a length, that's, like,
Yeah.
a standard for the haircut
yeah,
business. But
but
like,
maybe since she thought I was so small that so I was so
That it
young
was,
that I didn't know like the
yeah,
different
like, maybe,
clip
yeah, she thought,
sizes.
like 3 inches. Like, maybe she just thought she knew better or something.
Yeah.
So it was, like, but, oh, my gosh, she cut off that much hair?
it was short, and I just remember going to school the next day, terrified that my friends wouldn't like me anymore because
because you had short
Of course,
hair.
they didn't even mention it, so it ended up being okay.
Yeah,
but,
of course. I mean, they don't really
yeah,
mind.
no,
Like,
of course, no one would care. But
dude, that is scary.
yeah.
That's crazy. I only had like I did get my haircut really short once, and I remember you remember Robert. You know Robert.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you remember Robert. Hey Robert. So I came into school and it was short. Like it was a shorter than usual, and like especially on the sides, but the top was a little like I feel like the style nowadays it's like you get the sides short, but you keep it a little longer on top so you can like do stuff with it or whatever. It's kind of it's kind of the style, but like
Because we know a lot about style.
we know all about style. You want to ask us some style questions? Comment below. But it wasn't like that. It was like pretty even and evenly short, but I still tried to like spike it up in the front, and it just looked like I didn't have enough hair. Like it was short. And so Robert sees me and he looks up and he's like, "I liked it better when it was longer." And I was like, ouch, man. Why do you
Dang,
care
that's-
so much? It kind of messed with me, and I was like, crap,
dude, those little things
those
that people
things
say
like that,
they'll affect you, man.
those little words like that. It messed me up. I haven't really had a bad haircut though. Like not, but like that one was short, but it was like honestly, I saw it. I was like, yeah, it's okay, whatever. It was the fact that Robert said something. I was like,
yeah,
oh,
exactly.
man. But like, I've never had like one where like they accidentally shaved off like half of my hair.
Yeah.
I did have one where we went to this place. It was called like Regency. It was like a school, right? So it was like a school for. And this lady took like 2 hours to cut my hair, and should not have taken that long. Like it was it was a simple cut. She told me her life story, like she told me everything, and she told me how like she got pregnant at a young age, and so and she was like giving me advice. She's like, when you're a teenager, like when this happened, you know, keep it in your pants, you know, like that stuff. And I was like, are you serious? I'm like, this isn't appropriate. I'm like, what's
awesome.
happening?
What are you talking
it was, it was life advice. That's where I got all my advice for the rest of it was the wise hair clipping lady from Regency. I learned everything from her.
Okay, so do you prefer when you're getting like your hair done or something like that? Do you prefer the people to be very talkative with you?
I think we disagree on this point because I actually like them to talk to me.
Okay,
like I enjoy that. I like when they, especially if it's like genuine, you know, because some people are like, so what are you doing today? And it's like they don't really care, but they're just trying to say something. And like that hits a wall real quick. It's like, you know, like, what do you say? You know, it's like, you don't care. But I like it. Like there's some people who like really care and they like, you know, they'll just talk with you like a normal person. And I enjoy that. I will talk. And sometimes I feel like I say a little too much because I'm very open. Like I say,
you're very
I'm
open
very
and
open with,
person.
with just about anybody. Like I share a lot.
Yeah.
And so like I'll talk to them and I'll just bring up something like kind of personal, you know, I'll be like, my girlfriend just broke up with me or like, you know, or I have a date later tonight, not on the same day. That never happened.
It's been a very up and down day for me.
It's been like a lot of losses and a lot of wins. Like it's a little back heavy.
It's a net even though. So.
Yeah, so I'm good. But I would be very open, and sometimes I think it makes them uncomfortable, and they're like, I don't know what to say after that. And so that's happened a few times. But I think we just, because don't you?
Yes.
You like,
I enjoy when they ask me questions when there's a special reason I'm getting my hair cut. Like every time we do a show, I get excited because I know they're going to ask, you know, what are you doing? And I'm like, later today, I'm going to go play a show.
I got a show going on. Yeah.
And, you know, it's something small. They don't care. I know they don't care.
But it's cool, you know? It's cool to tell people. Like,
exactly.
And I've run into that before, too. It's like, I actually take pride in, like, you know, we got a show later or something, you know, because it just makes it's cool. It's like, I feel like I'm living the life or something.
Yeah, we don't have shows very often.
I know, we don't. But it's
special occasion.
It's fun, you know? And it's like, and it feels like we're living our dreams or something. We're like, we're doing it. But
but it got to the point where we would go to the Smart Clips in Walmart so often that there was one lady who would do all of our hair. And every time she saw us walking past or something like that, she'd stop us and talk with us. And she was really nice. And like with her, I didn't mind talking with as much.
Because she's almost a friend at that point, right? Like it's personal and
But yeah, dude, if I can just sit down
there and like
just have her look down and be done in 5 minutes, I will tip.
You'll take that every time.
She's getting a good tip.
Yeah. See, okay, I have a question. So I get really sleepy. Like when people start messing around like with my head, I get so tired. Like I like to talk to people, but when they start messing with my hair and stuff and they start cutting, it's like, I get so tired. And then I get sprayed with water and it freaks me out and I like wake up immediately. But then as soon as they start cutting it again, I get all like quiet and like
I've
sleepy.
Ever gotten sleepy?
Dude, I get so sleepy when people like mess with my hair. It's I get real sleepy. I guess you don't.
No.
It happens every time with me.
No.
It gets me every time. See, I had a story I was gonna share. So back to the injuring yourself, which was a while ago, I know, but I wanted to share this, and it was the one I didn't get to share.
We do have a few stories about this just in the future.
Yeah,
there's one pretty good one that I'll save for a special occasion.
That's good. So this one reminded me when you said you cut yourself on the. This was not my fault, okay? This was my sister's fault. I'd like to point that out. Shout out to Addie. His sister
takes after his mother.
Yes. Yeah, you know, that's fair. That's fair. In some way, she takes after my mother. In some way, she takes after my father. But we're kind of different people. We're different. You know, we have some differences.
Yes.
So growing up, she was always, like, the meaner one, okay? Like, I'm the older sibling, and... Like, usually the stereotype
is the
like...
alpha.
Yeah, like, usually the stereotype is the older sibling bullies the younger sibling or something, you know? Like, on all the TV shows and stuff, it's like, they make fun. I wasn't like that.
3 years younger than you?
2 years. 2 years. Yep. So, I wasn't like that. I was like, I wanted to be nice. I wanted her to like me, you know? I wanted to, like, be friends. And so, like I tried to be so cool, but she was not like that. She would pick on me. She would like hit me. Like she would.
You guys get along better now.
We do.
So,
okay,
right.
yeah. For the record, we get along way better now.
Yes. Yeah.
But growing up, it could be dicey at times.
Yeah.
So this time, like I don't even know how this happened, and this wasn't on purpose on her, but she still thinks it's funny to this day. But we had one of those vans that had like the sliding doors on the side, like it was like a Toyota Sienna or something, and like I had my hand like resting on the frame or something. She shut the door on my thumb, and it closed, like it locked, and I could not get my thumb out of the door, and I was freaking out. I was like, what? It hurt so bad, and I thought I was gonna like lose a thumb. My mom was freaking out. She was in the front seat. She's like, oh my God, Caleb, what happened? And like my sister, I think she just thought it was funny. She's like,
I can see that.
And I was like, it hurt so bad, but my thumb was fine. Like I opened the door. It managed to. It wasn't like it was caught on the outside of the door where it would have just cut my thumb clean off. It was close, but it just closed like on my thumb. There was that barrier between. Like there was some space, so it got me good, but it didn't rip my thumb off or anything. So it was okay, but. That made me think of it when you mentioned the razor thing. I was like, this wasn't even for myself, but it hurt, and I still remember it. I was like, oh my Lord.
I remember, how like the glass doors have the stuff on the. I think it's normally like on the top or bottom where you can little metal piece where you can lock the door so it stays open.
I think so. Yeah, you mean like the sliding doors, or what are you talking about?
No, it's like a glass door that swings open.
A glass door that swings open.
You can like move a thing over.
You mean like that businesses use or like schools, like doors
no,
there?
No,
it's
like outside.
Oh
house.
yeah, yes. I do know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, like those doors that you have between
like
between
the big door,
big
and
glass doors
and
that
outside.
you put in front of your doors. To help with insulation or whatever. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
We had one at my house in Texas, and I was trying to unlock it. I think, and there's like a little metal piece that you just move over to the side.
Yeah,
and
I remember those.
I somehow like got my finger caught in between that little metal thing.
Oh
and
my
something
gosh!
Else. And I still remember there was a bump. I don't remember where on my finger it was, but it was huge for like days afterwards.
Gosh, that had to hurt
and
so
it
bad.
It was terrible.
I bet I've
bloody
pinched
murder.
myself. I've pinched myself on those before. Those things are dangerous. Those things are real dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's all we've got for you today. We're going to save some of our other stories for another time. But thank you guys so much for listening. This has been the Cabin Flannel Show. We're going to run with that. We're really hoping nobody else has that name. Somebody else might out there, but I really like it.
We did a quick Google search
beforehand. We should give credit where credit is due, though, for that.
I guess we should tell the story.
We had our friend, we call him Phil. His name isn't actually. We'll just call him Phil. But it's not his real name, but we call him Phil.
He was the first drummer that we had in our band.
Yeah,
that
a great guy, just an awesome dude.
With
he's so cool.
Me, Caleb, and Thomas. He was our first drummer. We had a couple.
Yeah,
but that's how we met him. He was a year older than us.
Oh, a year older than us, and he hung out with us. He was
a popular kid.
He was popular. He was cool.
Awesome guy.
Yeah,
awesome
Phil's cooler than we are, but whatever.
yes, very much.
Anyway,
so. We got some great stories from him too.
Yeah, we do.
We need one time.
We need to get him on the show. That would be great. But he came up with that name. We asked him what we were looking for band names.
Yeah,
and his idea was Cabin Flannel, and we all liked it. Like we thought it was clever and good, but it didn't quite match with our band. Like with what we were doing.
I mean, we weren't playing like lumberjack music or
whatever that is. I don't know what lumberjack music is, but we should look into
yodeling.
We should start that yodeling. Yeah, but we really liked the name actually, and so
this was what 3 years ago.
It was it was a while ago.
But he was like, I've always wanted to have a band named Cabin Flannel,
and maybe he has at this point. I don't know. We need to catch up with Phil.
He's a great guy.
And he's a great musician. He's really good.
He's one of those guys that's just amazing at whatever he
good at
tries
everything.
to do.
Yeah, it makes me mad.
Yes.
But anyway, so that's where we got the name Cabin Flannel. We like it, and we think it's going to fit with this. It's kind of
relaxed. Show,
and it's kind of like as if we're in a cabin and we're just talking to each other.
Yes, because you talk differently in a cabin.
You do. Things change when you go to a cabin, and maybe you're wearing.
Have you ever been to a cabin?
I have been to a cabin. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
I've been to Colorado, and we would go there and ski. So just imagine when you're listening to this podcast that you're sitting next to a fire, and we're here with you, and we're all wearing flannel, just flannel. Or don't
Probably
imagine that.
more. Probably
imagine whatever
more.
you want. But, you know, this is a comfortable and open environment and relaxing environment. So that's what we have for you guys. Thank you for listening. And I've been Caleb.
I'm Ryan.
And we'll speak to you next week.